Whistler Manor stood at the edge of town, shrouded in mist and mystery. Abandoned for decades, it was the subject of ghost stories and urban legends. Locals whispered about the tragedies that had befallen those who dared to live there, but that didn't deter the young and adventurous. A group of college friends, Mark, Lisa, Tom, and Emily, decided to spend a weekend in the manor, documenting their experience for their popular YouTube channel, Haunted Hunts. "Are you sure about this?" Emily asked uneasily as they stood before the imposing gates. Mark, the leader, grinned. "Come on, Em. It's just a house. Think of the views." The others nodded, excitement masking their apprehension. They pushed open the creaky gates and ventured inside. The interior of Whistler Manor was more foreboding than its exterior. Dust-covered furniture, cobweb-draped chandeliers, and eerie portraits lined the walls. As night fell, the house seemed to come alive with unsettling sounds, footsteps echoing in empty corridors, whispers seeping through the walls and flickering candlelight in the distance. "Let's split up and explore," Tom suggested, breaking the heavy silence. Reluctantly, they agreed. Mark and Lisa took the ground floor while Tom and Emily headed upstairs. Mark and Lisa wandered through the decaying rooms, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. In the dining hall, they found a rotting banquet table, still set with tarnished silverware and broken plates. "Do you hear that?" Lisa whispered, her eyes wide with fear. Mark listened. A soft, mournful melody filled the air, coming from nowhere and everywhere at once. They followed the sound to a grand piano in the corner, its keys moving as if played by invisible hands. "Let's get out of here," Mark muttered, pulling Lisa back. But as they turned, the door slammed shut with a force that shook the walls. Chilling laughter echoed around them, sending shivers down their spines. Upstairs, Tom and Emily found themselves in the master bedroom. The air was thick with decay, and the temperature dropped sharply as they entered. The bed was unmade, its sheets stained and torn as if someone had left in a hurry. "Look at this," Emily said, pointing to an old, leather-bound diary on the bedside table. She opened it and began to read aloud. "April 13th, 1920. The voices, they won't stop. They tell me to do terrible things. I fear I am losing my mind." Suddenly, the door to the room slammed shut. The windows rattled, and the temperature dropped further. A ghostly figure appeared at the foot of the bed. A woman in a tattered nightgown, her eyes hollow, her face twisted in agony. "Get out!" she screamed, her voice a cacophony of rage and despair. "This house is cursed! Leave while you still can!" Terrified, the friends regrouped in the foyer, each sharing their harrowing encounters. Determined to uncover the truth behind the hauntings, they decided to stay one more night. As midnight approached, the house came alive with a malevolent energy. The walls trembled, and ghostly apparitions flitted through the shadows. The friends huddled together in the living room, their flashlights flickering, their breaths visible in the frigid air. "Why won't they leave us alone?" Lisa cried, tears streaming down her face. "Because we're trespassing," Tom replied grimly. "This place is their prison, and we're the intruders." Suddenly the lights went out, plunging them into darkness. The air grew thick with a suffocating presence, and the temperature dropped even further. The friends felt an overwhelming sense of dread, as if something ancient and malevolent was closing in on them. One by one, they began to see the spirits of those who had died in the house. A little girl with hollow eyes, a man with a noose around his neck, a woman in a blood-stained dress. Their eyes were filled with anger and sorrow, and their voices echoed with the torment of the damned. "You shouldn't have come here," they whispered, their voices blending into a haunting chorus. "You shouldn't have disturbed our rest." The friends tried to escape, but the house had a will of its own. Doors slammed shut, trapping them inside. Windows shattered, cutting off any means of escape. The walls closed in, and the air grew thick with a choking mist. As the spirits closed in, the friends realized too late that they were doomed. The house had claimed them, just as it had claimed so many before. Their screams echoed through the night, swallowed by the darkness of Whistler Manor. In the morning, the house stood silent once more, its secrets buried deep within its haunted walls. The friends' car sat abandoned at the gates, a grim reminder of the price of curiosity. Months later, a new family moved into Whistler Manor, unaware of its dark history. The townspeople watched in silent horror, knowing that the cycle of tragedy was about to begin anew, patient and malevolent, ready to claim its next victims. The house waited, and so, the legend of Whistler Manor continued, its halls echoing with the whispers of the damned and the cries of those who dared to enter its cursed embrace.